Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and this is from the Depths Designer, and you join me back on our epic ship, and we are in part 2. So only real few changes. I coloured the gun so you can see where the barrel is and the gun system is, and put a little breach room in here so we can go in here and see our loading system, a few ammo barrels, not much, just a little bit, and our AI system for using the system. It's got its own mainframe with a aim point selection and its own weapon controller with a failsafe. So that's our little room with a couple of little doors, so we'll be able to get in there to do some work and fix it if need be when we got repair bots, etc. So that should be fun. Right, you can see I've made some reshaping and we are getting a little bit further forward, which might mean I might eventually cut off some of this rear. But I think what we're going to do is we'll continue working from the front backwards, and then we'll see when it comes to propulsion how much we actually need at the rear. But what I'd like to look at now is more damage. We've already got the big gun. This is the big gun. The big gun. And that will do a lot of damage, out to about 3,000. Now what I would like to see, or what I'm thinking of, is some missiles now. I like this idea of everything coming out of the centre. And it's reminding me of some sort of like big mouth or maw, etc., that will be doing plenty of damage shooting out. Now what I'm thinking of is we got 3 types of enemy we could potentially be against, and I'd like to create missile systems for each of them, predominantly long range. So we're going to have potentially enemy which is under the surface, so that could be torpedoes, but that's going to be the fewer of the groups, so we'll put that maybe in the centre because it'll have the least number of weapons. We'd have fast air targets, which will be common but not too bad, and we could maybe put our main air defence missiles as the second row, and then finally we've got sea and slow flying vehicles, which would be our most common target, I'm guessing, and that could be the outer row of missiles. Now all these missiles I'd like to see go roughly the 3,000 meters, so they're aimed at targeting vessels at long range. So we're going to start in the centre because we need to work it out, set it up, and then make it circularize, go round a little bit. Now we don't want to go any further than this point here for our weapons, because we want to make sure that as this barrel swings out, it doesn't end up impacting on any of the ship parts, so making it not fire. So that's our limitation as far as our range goes, but we should be okay with these angles here, and we've got a good 12 blocks we can work with on here, so we'll have a 10 block missile. So if we start with the first one, that's the easiest. So if we go straight to missiles and put the 6-way connector, so we don't need 6-way connectors here. Let me just change the colour, replace some mode to that, and then go back to here. There we go. Right, so we're going to need some 6-ways. Now first of all, let's get this mirror line on, because I forgot the mirror line, as I often do. We'll fill out the centre part with metal, I think, once we've got a basic idea of where this is going to come round. Now this might be a little square on this initial one. We might be able to get one just in there. Yeah, that's looking reasonable. We'll duplicate that down here. So there, out to... put one in there. Now let's put our, under missiles, we will put the missile, not the controller, the launch pad. Possibly won't put one there, put one there. There we go. So that'll make it slightly sort of a round shape. Actually, we can take that off. So there. Take that one out there. 3, 3, 3. Oh, I quite like that. 3. Where's that there? 1, 2. Oh, okay, we can put one here. So it's a 5. And we might as well use those ones. So 5 on each side. So we'll put that one back. Yeah, that will give us plenty of damage. Now I would like to use a ejector on each of them. I might take this one out here, although I'm tempted to leave it. Because we can. I think we can still get in a. Yep, we can still get that in there. So that there and upside down. There we go. And then everything else, we might have to move or remove that section to be able to get our ejector in on this one. Let's see. Yeah. Which is gonna leave it a little. Can't be having it not symmetrical. So okay, we'll just get rid of that. We'll sort that one out, and we'll have to get rid of this one. We'll sort it out when we do the next missile system. We might be able to put something back in that particular place. Yeah, using these. Yeah, that's fine. So that's going to be our first torpedoes. Let's sort those. It still gives us. I still know where it's going to go to. So that's the important bit, I think. Let's get this first one sorted. We'll put the missile blocks in. Right. So let's see that there. He says as he can't now work out. So that one should have been to that point. So yep, this one can go to there. So that's the furthest point out it can go to. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. Oh, that's going to be quite good actually. It's going to be quite powerful. So these are the basically anti-submarine torpedoes. Is the intention. Now we'll put these ones on a side. So they may, when they come out, they may go in some weird angles, but that's not too much of a problem. Come on. Yes, I should be using the keyboard mode. Yeah, whatever. Now this is obviously an area where... Did I miss the one in the centre? I did. I missed this one here. We will put that up that way. That's an easier way to do it. And these ones we'll have facing downwards. So I don't go too far. Missed one. There's a block missing somewhere, I think. No? Oh, yep. There we go. Okay, now what I can do is fill out any gaps. Is there places in here that could be armoured up? Yes, that can be armoured up. Let's make sure that's right on the very end. Okay, that's that one. And in here we might be able to get some more. No, how about in here? Oh yeah, in here. One. Ah. Let's see if there's any. No, one. Only allows me to get one in there. I thought I could get more. Maybe it's already mirrored it. We'll have a look. One in there. We'll have a check down here. Can I get anything more in here? No. Okay, well, it's relatively armoured. And what we can do to put that armour back to get that right level, I have to work this out correctly. We'll sort it out for the next level in a second. Let's get this one ready. So we'll put where should we put the AI? Oh yes, we can put this is where we can put armor. We can armor this bit. Okay, might as well. Let's get some. How far forward? There and there, and then back to here. There we go. That's because, is that missing? It's missing. It's one of those missing its ejector. No, it's got its ejector. It was next to the ejector. You know, sometimes I just feel like I'm missing something. It's just, it's one of those, can't see. I'm sure there's a problem there, but I'll be buggered if I can see it. Okay. A missile controller and other little bits and pieces like that we'll put straight on the top. It's easier. So we'll put the missile controller just there. We will put let's see, what else is it gonna need? We'll put identify friend or foe there. Take off the mirror line for a second. There we go. And we will put our staggered fire just here with a fairly long half-second stagger, so they'll fire out in a nice sort of staggered formation, which will be good. I think we'll put the missile pod on. Let's see, AI, a local weapon controller, just here, with a failsafe and a wireless receiver. I did debate whether I should just make this have its own AI. Yeah, we'll put it onto the main AI. I've got a feeling to have the main gun's got its own AI, but I think we'll put all of these ones onto a single AI for these weapons, which actually also then go for what it's aiming at. So it's all going for the main target as such. Other weapons we have in the system, I might build some more AIs for medium range defense and close in defense, and possibly create some different AI groups. But this one, I think we'll put it onto the main connector. We'll sort that out in a bit. Okay, let's sort out what this is actually going to have. So I'm going to create this. Let's see, first of all, it will have a short range thruster just to go a little way, so with a 2-second delay. So it will fire and go out. Now it's only got a duration of 10 seconds, which means it will need 2 fuel tanks. Warhead arming delay, we'll put that up to about 4 seconds, and guidance delay at 0.1 is fine. Just these can just fire straight out. I'm not gonna muck around with any of the thrusters there. Right, 2 propellers just to give it a little bit of speed, and 2 fins. Right, now fuel tanks. We'll need 2 fuel tanks for the thruster, and let's say 2 fuel tanks for the props. That should give it a range of over 3,000, to be frankly honest, so I think that will be good. We will put in a 1-turn safety fuse and a ballast tank set on 0-0, so it will aim. Right, now we're down to creating damage. We will have a proximity fuse on this. I like my proximity fuses. And we will need a infrared on the front. We're going to use infrared, not sonar. I did debate sonar, but I think I'll keep it on infrared for the moment until there's some advantage for keeping or changing to a sonar based system. Damage. Right, we will have a mixed warhead, EMP, explosive, more explosives. I'm going to go for a lot of explosives here, and one fragmentation. Fragmentation with a, let's try and think. This is going to be hitting subs, so I need a wide cone in case the fragmentation doesn't get it. So I'm going to go for the 45 degrees, which is the same as the proximity fuse. Proximity fuse range, let's see, 1, 2, will be 3 meters. So it's just sticking out at the front of the missile. And assign that to everything. There we go. So that should be relatively agile with 2 fins. Safety fuse stops it blowing up. I could always change that to be something else, but we'll leave that for the moment. So when this fires, we'll give it a test firing, shall we? Let's give it a test fire. Easiest way is, how can we give this a test fire? We need to, okay, let me just work on some angles here. We need to, this can fire anything in 90 degrees. Yep, that should be fine, because with the 1 turn it should be firing at things there, and also we'll put the constraints all at 90. So it's got to be aimed roughly towards the target for it to start firing, which is a fine item, which is perfectly okay. Friend or foe, staggered. Yeah, we should be good to go with that. Right, okay. Minimum range. It won't want fire at things less than, say, about 500 meters, because it won't have time to aim at them. Maximum range is going to be about 3,500, so it may actually fire quite early at this. Minimum altitude. No minimum, but there will be a maximum. This has got to be surface targets or below. So we'll set that at, say, just in case the AI is a little out of the water, we'll set that at 5. Maximum speed. Yeah, it's not going to want to fire at things that are going too fast. 30 should be fine. And blocks. This is large targets generally. 1,000 blocks should do as a starting point. We'll see how that all works for it. I think that should work adequately for what we are doing. Yeah, so that's the torpedoes. Okay, we are done. We are ready to do a test firing, etc. on those. They're not going to impact on anything. Nothing's blocking the firing. No. Okay, now let's put some metal. Find somewhere where we can put some metal around this, ready for the next system that we're putting in. I'm just trying to think of what would be a good, reasonably long range, but not too long. This first one isn't aimed at really fast aircraft. It's going to be aimed at going against long range, bigger aircraft, but high flying potentially. So it's going to need, it will use a variable thruster set for quite a high speed. So yeah, oh dear, let's think. Yeah, so it might need about 10. So let's see, how many have we got here? We've got that's going to be 4. Well, we've got 9. I don't think we need that many. Now I could line it up exactly the same spot actually, potentially, and let it just come around in this fashion. Yeah, because I don't think we need it quite as long. Means all of these will line up together, which is a good and bad at the same time. If we don't need as big a missile, then we can recess it and just take it back. But I think the more blocks, the merrier. Right, launch pads. And we'll do the same. We'll start these ones off firing forwards. Now we've got quite a few missiles here. There we go. And these ones will be on the side. Dum dum dum. And these ones will be upside down. I have no idea how that will work. We are about to find out. Is that joined up? No, I think I need one of them just there and one of them just there to ensure that they are joined. Join, 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 join. Joined! Now one thing I've got to make sure is, no, that controller should be alright. That's fine. Right. Well, let's go and just do one missile first, and then we can see how many blocks we need. Right, that's an 8-block missile. So if we take those 2 out, because we'll need our ejector add-on. I took a block out I wasn't supposed to there. There we go. Put these ones upside down for symmetry. If they hit, oh yes, if they hit one point, that's going to be nasty. Okay, what we'll do is we'll put our missile controller, again, just directly on the top. Might as well. It won't really affect the system. We will put our, we'll take the mirror line off temporarily. I will remember to put it on again. Honest. Firing, we'll set a 0.3 delay on this. Right, let's think. Missiles. So, if we've got a variable thruster with fairly much, 1 second's fine, but this goes, see, long range, fairly fast, but not too fast. I'm going to send it at 2000. Warhead delay, yeah, leave that on 2, yeah. Fins is going to need 3 fins to make sure it's got good angle, and I think about 6. That's the wrong one. I put in there. Fuel. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 6. That should give it about, I think, around about the range we're looking at with that speed. Maybe I need to bring that down to 1500, so it's a little faster than a single. But yeah, I think I'll leave it on 2000 for the moment. Now we will need here a 1 turn. And we will need target prediction. We're going to go with a single pixel infrared. And then we got some damaging. So we'll go for just a little bit of damage. We're not going for masses of damage here. An EMP and a two frags. Now I haven't, let's see, a fragmentation, say with some range, because it's going to go for vulnerable parts on the vessel. Now, should I use a proximity, or just go for? I've got to go for the hit. Okay, well let's just change this. Let's go for a double fragmentation. So we've got one fragmentation which is going to be armor piercing, and one which is going for the area effect type of thing, and we'll see how that goes. So this is going to be hitting a target specifically, so if that's the case, the EMP will work, fragmentation will work. We might as well just go with double armor piercing, actually. Yeah, okay, well we'll go with that. I'm not 100%. I would like to use a proximity, but let's see. I think that that should do. We might use the proximities in the ones which are aimed for slightly faster enemy vessels. This is designed for the larger oh, I forgot to put the mirror line on. I said I wouldn't forget. I'd remember it. I was wrong. Alright, let's just go in front. It'll be quicker. So yeah, this is for the larger flying vessels which are in front, not necessarily high speed ones. We'll do a separate medium range missile battery which is aimed at taking out fast flying vessels. This will be high flying or large. It's still fairly, this will go quite. I think this should be fairly quick. This won't be a slow missile. Relatively agile. And that should be the anti-air missiles now sorted, ready to fire out with their one stagger and their range, etc. That should work quite nicely. So now we're against the anti-surface vessel. So this will be against vessels which are just under the water, on the surface, or low flying. A big back damage dealer at the front. Now I want to get a bit of shape here somewhere, so we've got to make a few compromises on this corner, I think, because I'm not like it's getting a little square, basically. Some bits are looking alright, but they're not really rounding off as much as I would like. So I'm going to make this a little... I'm just trying to think of... what I might do is not go to the corners, or... I'm just trying to think of the best way of rounding it off. Possibly I should have not have these ones here, but I like more missiles. Just trying to work this one out. I might bring it back another level. So there, if that's so actually aim to have these missiles back a little bit more. Let's just bring in this here so I can get a gauge for where everything is going to go. Trying to round it off, or just make, or should I not worry? That is the other option, is don't worry, just go for it. Yeah, it would be nice if it was a little rounder, but I think that I'm possibly worrying about something which is not worth worrying about, really. Let's just go with what we have. Okay, let's see the range we need here. So we've got 4, 8, 12. So we're going to be running these ones around here. So we need an 8-block missile, roughly. So missiles, 6-way connectors. So I think we're going to run them here. These are going to be at fairly long range. And there's going to be lots of them. And I'm debating whether to have laser designated or go with infrared. Because of the range, we could still use laser designated without a problem. Because the intention I have got is to have some ships, some spawned ships and some laser designators out there, although we're going to have a lot of lasers. Ooh, that's in the wrong place there. Okay, gone wrong somewhere there. Is have a lot of smoke, which will obviously prevent our lasers from working. So I think this first group here, I think we'll leave them as infrared. And yes, there is the possibility that the enemy will have something which will defeat these, but hey ho, that's the way of the world. Sometimes things get defeated. Right, launch blocks, launch pad. And then sideways here. So a little square, but at least it's not a wedge, eh? Squares, I've moved up from 3 angles to 4. Woohoo! Right, let's start again as we did before. I'm going to start with the single one, and then I will just build all the rest and be back once we've built everything. Once I've got my fingers in the right position. There we go. Right, so here we go. maybe to there. Let's see how that goes. We might as well put the missile controller. We'll put it on the top again. Mirror line off, and we'll put the identify friend or foe and the staggered fire just there, and this will have a fair delay, and then we're going to put the mirror line back on. There we go. Before I forget, okay, we will put the AI weapon controller back on, and the failsafe on the front, so that if there's any damage, the missiles will not blow up our own system. They will stop firing until they are repaired, which is okay with me at this second. Okay, so let's go and have a look at this missile. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So, variable thruster, yes. Fin, 1. I'm not worried about making this hyper agile. It's going to be going against slower surface vessels, so that would be work for us. Fuel tank. So, fuel tanks. Let's see, a standard missile like this is going to go about yeah, I think I'm going to need quite a few fuel tanks. We'll leave the variable thruster on 1 and 1K, so that's fine. We'll have it an armor delay of 4. I think 8 fuel tanks will be good. We'll have an infrared, but we will have a camera. Infrared seeker, but we're going to put a camera. We'll put the camera back on the base, because I think it's quite a high drag. Yeah, it's quite high drag on that, so we'll have it going for random blocks. Random block, there we go. We'll need another fuel tank. Fuel tank, thank you. And we will need a 1 turn. Then the rest of it is going to be, we will have some, let's see, EMP. This is going to be a explosive, but the rest is going to be frags. We're going to have this as a high penetrator. 1, 3, and then I like this last one, say about 30, just to give it plenty of range offset. So okay, so again, we can check on the once we've done some range distancing. I can either change the speed or take a frag for more fuel, or etc. like that. So we can have a bit of work on that. The only other bit I need need to change is in here. And what should we go for? So minimum range, yeah, about 500 or 300. Maximum range is going to be about 3,000. I'm going to set that for 3,000 at the moment. See how that ooh, no, not 300, 3,000, thank you. Minimum altitude, let's say it would go a little bit under the water, but not much. So minus 15, I think, should be about right. That will just get anything that's just under the water if the AI is low. And altitude, we don't really want it going things above, say, about maybe large targets that are around 100 meters up. That'd be okay. Minimum number of blocks, 1,000 again. Come on. There we go. And maximum speed. It will go against fairly speedy targets, but not too much. I'll set it at 40 for the moment. Okay, so that's it. So let me just duplicate that and get it all set up and armored up, and then we'll have a look at it. And that is the most of the missiles, the primary offensive missile system, are now just about complete. There's a lot of missiles there to come out. I would say this is very susceptible to damage, in that if we get some lasers or something coming from the centre, that's going to give a whole load of damage to this area here, which is a bit bad. And I'm going to have to make sure I get some shields in here and anti-laser smoke in here a bit. I've put these spikes on here for a couple of reasons. I've got us an idea which might make these spikes worth having here. They've also got good health for their size, and it looks like it's a mouth, and I'm going to go with that and try and make that a feature, for want of a better word, and we'll see how that goes. I'm seeing this as an alpha damage missile block, in that once the vehicle's in range, it will launch these missiles, depending on the type of ship, and do significant damage all in one big hit. Boom, the ship has gone. That's my idea at this moment for how this will work. If it then takes damage after that, that's fine. As long as the main gun keeps firing, then hopefully other weapon systems which will be activated once ships get closer, or a more specific targets, etc. We will have, I think next is some weapon systems for like the medium range. I'm going to work on some shaping. I've got this is very square, don't like it, but I'm going to try and put a little bit of shape just behind it, try and see what we can do in that regard. But it's going to be effective. It's going to make it, maybe instead of going for a very long cylinder, maybe try and shape the bit just behind here a little bit more, coming back to about this point. So I'll have a work on that next. And then our secondary weapons, which is going to be weapons which are designed to hit targets out to about say 2,000 meters. 1,500, 2,000. These are going to be our medium range big damage dealers. So we're going to have some cannons and some missiles aimed at to do repetitive damage. These are going to be our alpha strike, and once they've done their alpha strike, they're possibly going to be taken out by damage at the front. So yeah, which is fair enough. They'll have to be repaired, and we'll just have to go with that. The medium range weapons, which will be in the centre here, I think this will end up being about the centre of the ship. The centre part of the ship will then start doing significant damage to the enemy once it gets in range, if they've survived the initial alpha damage from our main weapon. Oh, okay, yep. And then finally we'll have on the periphery some close range, high firing, high agility missiles, fast rapid firing cannons, all that type of item as the third tier for items that get below about 700-800 meters. If they get in really close, then they come in and they just damage things enough to slow them down, so even the medium range weapons can hit them. And just basically destroy any small vessels. They'll have no block limits. These have all got a 1,000 block limit, might even take it up to 2,000. But these medium range weapons will have, say, maybe a 300 block limit. The close range weapons, no block limit. Just do as much damage as possible, as quick as possible. We'll look at maybe some anti-missiles near the front, firing out from the four sides. But we'll get some shaping in first on the outer hull, and then I'll work backwards from there. So I've got to work out a circle, or smoothing this off in some way. Can't do anything about the front now, unfortunately. unless I redo it all again, which I'm not going to. So we're going to go with this pattern. That's going to be our item. So we might have it so that I'm thinking there's so many rams here. What if you pulled ships into this? So that they maybe some harpoon missiles that pull the ships into these areas. That could be interesting. That could be an interesting tactic to go with. So we'll have a look at that. But yeah, so I will shape it up for ready for the next episode before we do the medium range weapons. So any comments below? Obviously, as I say, we may already have this complete by the time you see this one, but any extra comments would be for future builds in anything you've got to say, or suggestions for how I might be able to modify it once it's in game without significant changes. I'm always open for. But hopefully you are liking the way this is going. If not, this is the way it's going. Whether you like it or not is not immaterial, but it's a little bit fait accompli. There's a lot of time going to be put into this, so there's limits to how much I'm going to be able to change later on. But for now, keep designing, keep playing, and above all, in the game, as usual. You know what I'm to say. Have fun.